Good evening, everyone. It's a little late. I know. Welcome to the Girl Get Up Collective. I'm going to get started in just a few minutes. So if you can hang in there with me very shortly. I hope everybody had a wonderful evening. Listen, it is a lot going on in the world today. It's a lot going on in the world, but despite all of that, I hope everyone is thriving. I hope everybody is thriving and doing well. Okay, so it is 9:15. I'm not gonna hold up myself or anybody else because I got work to do. Man, I got work to do. Welcome to the Girl Get Up Collective. This is like, little live, little meeting place after the podcast episodes have aired. We can, kind of chat a little bit about news and stuff that's going on in the business world that helps us entrepreneurs and business owners along on our journey to becoming successful, whatever our version of success looks like. Before I get started, just some updates, not really updates, I guess house cleaning. Guys, every Sunday you can catch a new episode of the Girl Get Up podcast at 1 p.m. every Sunday. You can catch the podcast. My main outlets are Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and you can also catch it here on YouTube as well. So you can go over and support the Girl Get Up podcast on those platforms. You can follow me and stay tuned for new episodes that are going to be dropping with business owners and some straight from the red carpets that I think are very beneficial for you guys and for myself because I know I'll be catching some gems. I'll be like, oh, about to do that. So if you want to get a shout out on the Girl Get Up podcast, you can hit this QR code right here and you can make a small token of love to the podcast and you will get a shout out that will air on the following Sunday after your support donation or your love token has been made. So I appreciate those as well. Is there any? Oh, I think what I'm going to do is after the last episode airs in March, I'm going to go on a short little vacation. I think for the month of April, I'm going to go on vacation. Listen, the time zone, the switch, I got to get adjusted. I got to get adjusted. So there's a couple of naps that I'm missing out on. So I will go get myself recalibrated and get ready for this spring and summer and get all my rest for the spring and for the summer. So, I'm gonna go on a short little vacation and I don't do I want to come back in May or June? May or June. I don't want to be gone too long because it's just going to be a burning sensation for me to record and for me to interact with you guys. So if I do wait until like the middle or end of May, I would definitely be doing lives to kind of stay connected and to the community and to the new people who are coming in. So, but I need a little bit of I need some rest. I definitely need some rest. So I think that's about it. I think that's about it. Let me go get into the purpose of today's episode or today's live rather. I do short little clips, the shorts, the 60 seconds for YouTube shorts. But as I have said quite a few times, 60 seconds is not enough time to address some of these episodes. I mean, some of the articles that I see. Give me 1 second. Wrong thing. I hope y'all can hear me, but 60 seconds is not enough time to address some of the things that I see. And I was looking on my phone for an article to talk about something, of course, that would be helpful. We don't always want to hear bad news. And I came across an article on Money Talks News about a gentleman by the name of Mike Black, who conducted a social experiment around business and wealth and accumulating wealth with the premise that everybody can make $1 million. He wanted to prove anybody can make $1 million from nothing. So I started reading the article and I was like, oh, this is really interesting for entrepreneurs to hear his perspective. I really to say that anybody can make $1 million. I think as we read and you kind of go into it, I think he kind of proves himself. I don't want to say he was wrong because I do feel like, given the dedication that you put toward your goal, I feel like anybody can make money. $1 million, I don't know about $1 million, but I feel like putting your mind to it and put all of your effort and putting all of your energy into, you know, getting some money and, accumulating some sort of wealth, I think that it is possible. But life does happen. Life gets in the way. Circumstances can change the trajectory or the course of your life. So I think the article I think it's a good read for entrepreneurs and business owners because, regardless of what we set out to do, life happens. So I thought it was good to talk about. I say this too. Everybody's goal and dream and vision is everybody don't want to make $1 million. Some people just want to live well, make sure they kids have, and as long as they got food and everybody doesn't want to make $1 million. But I think the thought behind it is everybody has the opportunity to get out of poverty if you so choose, if you really, put your energy and put your effort into changing your life. So it was kind of interesting. So let's get into it because let's make it make some sense to you guys. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen. I am going to read and give my commentary as I go along. Now, because I do talk a lot throughout the day, I have to sip my water. So if that bothers anybody, bless you. I can't help it. So with that, let me share my screen and I am going to get into sharing the article. And I hope it comes out right. Okay. So I'm down here. Can I move myself? No, I can't. Let me make sure it's coming. It looks half. Okay. So as long as I'm small and you guys can see, that's fine. Okay. So the name of the article, and again, this is from Money Talks News. The name of the article is Mike Black chose to be homeless to prove he could build a $1 million business from nothing in 1 year. Guess what happened? This is a rags to riches story. Oh, this rags to riches story did not go entirely as planned, but it was not without success. So the article is from Kendall Blythe over at Money Money Talks News. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and read. And like I said, I'll get my commentary as I go along. When a successful businessman, Mike Black, walked away from his wealth in 2020, his goal was incredibly ambitious. He voluntarily froze access to his money, temporarily stepped away from his lucrative network, and set out to live on the streets of Austin, Texas. His actual wealth was perfectly safe. He retained his financial infrastructure, including an active cell phone plan and premium health insurance, which to me, let me stop commentary moment. That right there is what separates you from everyone else who might genuinely be in poverty or genuinely might be homeless, because a lot of those people don't have health insurance. They can get it, but it depends on what their circumstances is. So already, in my opinion, you already starting off better than a lot of people who are genuinely homeless. But I digress. Let's go. Under the self-imposed rule that he would deduct their cost, the cost of the health insurance and the cost of the cell phone plan from his experiment earnings. His mission was to build $1 million. Excuse me. His mission was to build a $1 million business in 12 months using that cell phone, one set of clothes, and hustle. So that's the cell phone, one pair of clothes, and some hustle was supposed to get him $1 million. So let's go. 10 months later, he pulled the plug. So he did not make the 12 months, but let's keep going. He was physically exhausted, battling severe autoimmune issues, and sitting on roughly 64,000 in revenue. With 64,000 is not bad, sir. Where we at? Okay, it is easy to view this premature exit as a failure of the hustle culture narrative. One person's 10-month stunt does not prove or disprove the mechanics of wealth creation. However, dissecting this experiment reveals critical, often ignored truths about how money is actually made and the invisible prerequisites required to make it. I know everybody, a sidebar, I know everybody's heard that old adage, it takes money to make money, but he's trying to set out to disprove that. And to some degree, if he left the experiment with $64,000, I would kind of somewhat, agree that it takes a desire to do something different and a dedication. So let's go ahead and move forward. The invisible backpack of privilege. You can empty a bank account, but you cannot delete financial literacy. Black started his experiment homeless, but he carried an invisible backpack of distinct advantages. He understood how to pitch clients, structure freelance deals, and negotiate contracts. He possessed a business vocabulary that takes years for the average person to develop. More importantly, he operated with the deep seated confidence of someone who's already built a successful agency. Let me stop real quick because I forgot to mention that the person that the article is about, Mike Black, owned He owns what is it called? Told Media. Sometimes y'all I cannot be reading my own handwriting. I think it's owned Told Media, and which is a seven-figure software development and recruiting agency. And so he's already very, very wealthy and had a very lucrative business from the start. So that's what he walked away from to start this experiment. Okay, so more importantly, he operated with the deep-seated confidence of someone who's already built a successful agency. That psychological safety net is massive. When you know you are choosing to sleep on the street for a YouTube series, because this is also documented on YouTube, the mental toll is fundamentally different from experiencing, inescapable systematic poverty. He knew he could tap out at any moment and return to a life of affluence. This highlights the stark difference between a temporary situational challenge and an actual generational poverty. An actual generational poverty. So, bypassing the systematic red tape, critics online, critics on I say it should be in, but whatever. Critics on online forums quickly pointed out the glaring logistical holes in the viral narrative. According to the timeline, Black spent only a brief time sleeping rough before a stranger allowed him to stay in a borrowed RV. So he only was technically homeless for a short period of time before somebody let him stay in the RV. That's good to know. And from there, he was able to buy a computer within 5 days, secure office space within 2 weeks, and execute a rental sublease strategy remarkably quickly. Now, that don't seem logical to me, but he has the know-how. Okay. This raises immediate red flags regarding how the financial system treats different types of people. A genuinely destitute person with no recent pay stubs, exactly, zero down payment, and a damaged credit history cannot simply walk into a commercial lease. The traditional rental market requires background checks, hefty security deposits that up to 3 months, and proof of consistent income. Facts, all facts. This experiment completely glossed over the systematic barriers that trap everyday people. We also have to factor in the camera crew, which would be a dead giveaway that this man is not totally homeless. But I digress. Negotiating a deal while being filmed for a documentary creates a massive halo effect. Landlords and business owners are significantly more likely to trust a well spoken, charismatic man with a production team and an anonymous person. Oh, than an anonymous person walking in off the street. All facts. He was playing a difficult game, but he was playing it on easy mode. And I totally agree with the critics who brought that up. That is a very, very good point. Okay, the biological wall of poverty. Even with those immense psychological and logistical advantages, the physical reality of street survival eventually broke him. Blacks suffered from severe autoimmune flare ups, chronic fatigue, and joint pain. So, what's not clear to me is if he walked into this situation knowing that he had health challenges. I'm not sure about that, but hopefully they'll explain that more. Or is there the quote unquote struggle, has a takes a physical toll on the body, which would account for a lot of illnesses such as like diabetes and hypertension and heart conditions that's associated with more I don't want to underserved communities. So Something to think about too. But anyway, the stress of housing instability, lack of sleep, and poor nutrition created a biological wall he simply could not work out. However, when his wealth began to fail, his health began to fail, his invisible safety net caught him. He retained his premium health insurance, which from the beginning I just said, I wonder if he was already sick before, because that would be a reason why you would keep the health insurance. But then again, you out with people, you know, exposed to people who may not have health insurance. So, but anyway, he retained his premium health insurance and was able to actively seek medical treatment for his condition. He never had to choose between seeing a doctor and buying a meal, which a lot of our more mature and seniors have to think about that type of stuff. So, maybe I don't know what his lifestyle was before, but stuff like this will definitely allow for you to see the other side of society and be more empathetic. Okay, so this exposes the fatal flaw in the experiment relating to the reality of genuinely homeless people. It ignores the fact that basic human stability, a safe place to sleep, adequate food, and reliable medical care may be a prerequisite for exponential wealth creation. You cannot grind your way through physical collapse using willpower alone. An uninsured person facing a severe chronic illness on the streets would be instantly buried by medical debt, permanently destroying any financial progress they manage to make. Protecting your financial future requires protecting your physical foundation first. So when y'all hear when y'all hear people talk about, oh, I'm gonna have to plug that interview that I did with Miss Lisa when she was talking about running her business and her having to shut her business down when she had found out that she had cancer. But yes, when you hear people come out, business owners, celebrities come out and are stark advocates for self-care, this is the reason why. Because an unexpected medical crisis can derail even the strongest financial plan. So self-care, take care of yourself, taking breaks, as I just said in the beginning, to rest, to reset your mind, your physical body, your spiritual body, your mental body. Like, yes, you got to take care of all of that. Okay, redefining the financial finish line. It is a mistake to dismiss the entire endeavor just because he missed the seven-figure mark. Generating tens of thousands of dollars in under a year while starting on the street and living out of a borrowed RV is an undeniable achievement that requires intense focus and a relentless work ethic. The flaw was never the effort itself. The flaw was the arbitrary sensationalized goal. It's, if the target had been building a stable life and an emergency savings account, the experiment would be viewed as a massive success story. The real takeaway is that building wealth happens subsequently. Sequentially. Sequentially. Am I saying that right? Please, if I did not say that right, forgive me. Hold on, wait a minute. Is the little thing on here? Translate the English. Sequentially. You must secure. That don't sound right. Where's my phone? Did I say that right? Sequentially. Oh, I'm having a hook on phonics moment. I'm going to get this because that don't sound right, but I could very well be right. Sequentially. Acting in a specific consecutive order or following a regular step-by-step sequence. Sequentially. Let me hear her say it.
Sequentially.
Yes, I was right. Sequentially. That's the word. Okay. Moving on. You must secure your health and housing first. Once the foundation is solid, get your foundation, get your house in order first. You got to secure your house and your health. That's step one before you go try to build any type of business, any type of anything. Your health and your house is first. That's your foundation. Once you have that foundation, once that foundation is solid, excuse me, you can leverage your skills to increase your income. True financial progress is a marathon, not a viral stunt. Never underestimate the power of good financial management. If you have over $100,000 in savings, get some advice from a pro. Offers a free service. Oh, I'm not going to speak to it because this is an advertisement, but I'm not going to advertise for them. They say go get some financial help if you go get you a financial advisor. So, but I think that's the end of the. I think that's the end. Oh, that goes. That's going into another article. Okay. So I did some digging, some more digging. Of course, I go to my buddy AI that can help, break down some more facts that we can learn from the article. And so I wanted to share some stuff with you because uh with you all because it did seem like more could be gotten out of that. So this is where I learned that the gentleman already has a YouTube channel. So he documented, his name is Mike Black. Mike Black documented this journey on YouTube, and it's called The $1 Million Comeback. So I'll put that in the chat or in the description as well. But he already had, so it is Told Media, TOLD, Told Media. He already had a company. He already built a company as a 7-figure software development and recruiting agency. So part of some of the rules of engagement, so to speak, for him to conduct this experiment was the fact that he was not supposed to engage any of his previous network, the colleagues and his clients that he worked with before, and he put the assets and the money on hold. So he was supposed to genuinely start out technically from ground zero. So that was the goal for him, was to make the $1 million in 12 months from nothing. He had the cell phone plan, the one set of clothes or the one outfit, and the health insurance, and that was it. Now, what I didn't read in the article, but Grok was able to help me out on this, was the fact that how he made the $64,000. Because if you remember, if you go back to the article, it said that when he tapped out of the experiment, he had 64,000. He had accumulated the $64,000, and I didn't catch how he got it, but good old AI, good buddy Grok over here was able to pull that information out from the internet. So how he was, and this is a good little tidbit. So if you are looking for a little side hustle or whatever, or you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to, open up another stream of income, here's what he did. Now, you ain't got to do the same thing, But this is what Mike Black did. He started by grabbing free furniture off Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, acting as the middleman, selling furniture, free furniture. He was profiting off of free furniture. He made $300 that first week. And if you go back to the article, remember he said he got the RV, and from the RV he bought the computer. Well, that's how he was able to buy the computer, was because he got that $300 profit from that first week. He bought the computer, and then from there he was able to get, conduct more business to get more money, and then that's how he got the office space and then the rent. Okay, so a little helpful tip from that clip was he went from sleeping rough to signing an office lease in 14 days. And here's exactly how he did it. So that was the technique that he used. Which selling furniture or free furniture that is kind of risky, because you don't know if that furniture got bugs or anyway. That ain't. I wonder did he think about that. But anyway, I digress. Okay, so it says explosive but realistic progress most people miss. So after the 3 months, freelance social media manager pitching big tech companies launched his own coffee brand. So I don't know how that's relevant to the article, but by the time that Mike Black had tapped out of the experiment, he had made $64,000 in revenue. Oh, I'm wondering if he was acting as a freelance social media manager for somebody's coffee brand, which is a smart idea. But he already had the knowledge going in of how to build the business. So, hey, I think the skill and hustle replaces the benefit of having money. I don't know. Okay, so by the end of the experiment, that was roughly $5,000 to $6,000 a month. Um, for the 10 months, that would equal to $64,000 in revenue. So here's the twist that nobody saw coming, which we technically he did fail, but he did have some level of success. But here's the reason why the experiment did fail. It was because he was battling the two autoimmune diseases causing chronic fatigue and excruciating joint pain. And then, come to find out, 4 months into the experiment, his dad ended up being diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. So the quote from Mike Black was, "Health and family come first. I have officially decided to end the project early." And that powerful lesson from the clip that he shared on his YouTube channel was that he proved hustle gets you started, but life can still knock you out. So I just wanted to share some entrepreneurial lessons that will help you guys if you're listening to this, that from his story. Initially Mike started out trying to prove that anyone can make $1 million from nothing, but instead, what he proved was that you can actually bootstrap fast and make real money with zero capital, which is definitely something to take note of. Excuse me, that's definitely something to take note of. But $1 million in 12 months is from absolutely nothing. It's borderline impossible for 99% of people when life hits. So I thought it was a really interesting article to read. I guess what I was going to say in the beginning, let me stop sharing. was that, we have these that did I stop sharing? I guess I did. Oh, okay. But I guess what I wanted to say in the beginning is that we have these ideas about people and misconceptions about people. We might see homeless people, or we might see people who are quote unquote struggling or trying to make it or whatever. And then we might have these ideas that, oh, they just, some people, I've heard lazy, and I'm not saying it. I'm saying, these are misconceptions. But this experiment definitely proved that sometimes, you can have a vision, have a dream, have a goal, and things do happen. Life does happen. But it's regardless of the fact, it is definitely still important to, number one, have a positive mindset in spite of. And for me, the way that I think about stuff is, with trouble don't last always. Like, wake up every day and do one thing that is going to push you forward to get you out of that whatever situation you feel like is, or not feel, or people might be down it, but keep pushing through. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. Keep pushing through. Things happen to the best of the best. And take Mike Black for example. 7-figure business owner, despite how he was trying to portray for the social media experiment, and he had to take a health crisis. He had to step away because of a health crisis. So, you know, things happen to the best of us. So I thought that was a pretty interesting story to read. Um, I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know what kicked that off or what inspired him to do that, other than, maybe a thought about a certain segment of society. And that in itself, I find very interesting. But I think that he learned more about others, and maybe the way that he thinks about others, than, the more of the financial piece. So, and if you learn something about yourself that can, help improve who you are and how you treat others and how you deal with other people, then I most certainly think that the experiment was successful. So I hope you all enjoyed that little piece of news. And again, I'm going to put the original article in the chat. You can go read it for yourself. Take from it what you take from it, and like and share this video with someone you think can benefit from it as well. So with that, everyone, have a good evening and take care. Have a wonderful day. Yeah. Well, night. Have a wonderful night. Take care, everyone.